What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another SNA podcast video. And man, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, the first premium live event of WWE of the year 2024, was the one that you will never forget. Like, once you watch it, like, it's very absolutely great. Like, very spectacularly excellent, I should say. Yeah. And also, even though I only got like one prediction right, one out of four matches in the card, like, but despite that, I still was well sports entertained. But like, and you guys need to watch this. Like, for those like who are very interested in on today's Royal Rumble and anything WWE related in the world of professional wrestling. Yeah, let's get started. Like, and we also got some surprise returns. Like, two of them to be the exact what was rumored reported. One from the women's and one for the men's. I want to give that out there. Like, and I want to refer that before I name drop them as soon as I make the review video. And also, we had a debut from a debut of a women's wrestler that is currently a champion in another promotion, which I'm not sure if you know who exactly who I'm describing to, but I'm going to talk on I believe two of the men's world titles going to main event this year's Night 1 and Night 2's Mania, but that's when it might happen, but yeah, you get the point. But without further ado, let's begin. Start off with the women's Royal Rumble match, which was scheduled on the card, and that was who started out onto the Rumble. It was and also we had Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and the surprising return of Pat McAfee in commentary. But that's not all. When we're going to see him more in the Rumble, but yeah, because he knows that I always put openers be the second match of the night, and then the main event will be the first match. Usually, not all the time. Like, every once in a while, if you guys know what I'm spoiler, it wasn't Becky Lynch, unfortunately. But I still think Becky is going to challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just keep watching till the very end, and I'll probably give my change of fantasy booking. But yeah, we're gonna start off with who entered as number one. Like, after Samantha Irvin announced of how the match works and what's the rules, and if it's the last woman standing, they're gonna declare the winner and main event WrestleMania with a championship of their choosing, respectively. But anyways, we got draw number one was Natalya, and then we got draw number two. Of Naomi, yeah. Yeah, ain't that very exciting? Like, yeah, which I kind of figured that might be the case because she did just recently said goodbye to Impact. But yeah, we had the former Trinity now returning as Naomi. Well, Trinity's still her real name. It's just that she's probably not going to be using it for a while. If she signed a full-time deal returning with WWE, we'll be seeing more of her as Naomi in the foreseeable future. If this is the case, of course. But we're gonna go when everybody was shocked. This is where even Corey Graves like, Naomi's back. And I'm not sure if I should tell you about her best friend, a certain legit boss. Unfortunately, didn't made her return because maybe she's AEW bound. Who knows? She'll probably make her AEW debut at AEW Revolution. We're going to see a surprise return in the men's side, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But let's continue to talk about what went down, and it was two participants in the Women's Rumble match, with Natalya going for a sliding clothesline, but Naomi slides down on her knees and ducks out of the clothesline. That's where Natalya puts her leg right down into a split, and this is where she runs right to the bottom corner side ropes, hits a running drop kick. This is where number 3 was coming out with 3, 2, 1. The timer going down, and this is where we got the got the leader of Damage Control, one of the favorites, I should say, of winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, none other than Tropicana Bayley. And this is where Bayley ran right down towards the ring and this is where she was like, "Who should I go after first?" Like, and this is where Bayley was like, "Yeah, I remember you," and then everybody was like, "Yeah, duh." Like she's the one that she was one of your opponents in your reign as SmackDown Women's Champion, 1, and 2. You and her and a certain legit boss you usually hang out with each other when y'all not wrestling in WWE or any wrestling promotion in that matter. But anyways, this is where fans were chanting Bayley, Bayley. And this is where Bayley hits a right forearm, right to be exact, right into the face of Natalya. This is where her and Naomi start going at it with Bayley going for lefts and right punches. And this is where Naomi start hitting kicks right to the lefts and rights. This is where Bayley did try to Irish whip Naomi right to the upper, but they keep countering each other until Naomi got Irish whipped by what's her name, Bayley. And then this is where Naomi went right over, looked like she had shoulders, and hit the stink face right into the Bayley's face, which I believe some of the WWE fans probably missed from the former SmackDown Women's Champion. And I believe that the self-proclaimed main event Jim Uso man probably not going to like that from the fans. But anyway, this is where Natalya hits a natty by nature after she did that to Bayley. She hit natty by nature to Bayley. And this is where Naomi hits a rear view right into the face of Natalya. This is where Naomi went right to Bayley and tried to eliminate her, but she was like, "You know what? I'll think about doing that later." This is where she hits a springboard running bulldog right off the bottom corner ropes. This is where Natalya hits a double middle drop kick right from the top corner ropes when they were sitting in the snapmare position. This is where Natalya tried to eliminate Naomi. And this is what I was thinking. Like, this reminds me of when they were in the rivalry back in 2015, 9 years ago to be the exact. And this is where Bayley and Natalya started the double team TNA Knockouts champion. This is where Bayley hits a back elbow after Irish whipping her towards the right corner ropes. This is where Naomi hits the jawbreaker to Naomi. This is where draw number 4 was I believe Candice LeRae, which she started heading out to the ring, and this is where she started bringing the fight to everyone, and Naomi. And then this is where we got the shocking part for the current women's champion from another promotion, which I'm going to refer as a former rival promotion that WWE used to battle against a decade ago. And yes, sir, ma'am, it's none other than the woman who beat Naomi for that championship, none other than Jordynne. Announced that Endeavor made a partnership deal with TNA Impact, but I did not know Jordynne Grace was going to be entering the Royal Rumble. Like, wow, like she just beat going back as Naomi in wrestling. Like, and she was even holding the TNA Knockouts champion when Michael Cole announced like another surprise against Jordynne Grace from TNA, the TNA Knockouts champion. I was like, what? Like, I've seen Mickie James held the TNA Knockouts championship before 2 years ago, but at the same time, she's a former WWE wrestler, so that they have kind of had a good excuse at the time. Like, and also she had her hardcore country theme music. She was using that theme song. But anyway, back to the review. This is where Jordynne Grace will start hitting shoulder tackles on everyone, like Candice LeRae and Natalya. This is where she got Bayley into a back-to-belly maneuver, pushed her to Natalya, and then turned into a German suplex right onto the former SmackDown Women's Champion. This is where she spin around and hit a 360 power slam right onto Natalya. This is where Candice LeRae went right to the bottom, right off the bottom right corner to a crossbody to him. This is where Jordynne Grace hit a huge power slam to her as well, to Candice LeRae. This is where Natalya and Jordynne Grace was like, "Hey, like I haven't seen you in nearly 2 weeks," and then this is where they say that's what they look like saying to each other. But they started smiling, looking face to face. They gave each other a big hug and embrace right in the middle of the ring like they're best friends. And you just gotta, and what Excalibur would say, if this was best friends, you just gotta give the people what they want. Which I think some of the fans that are TNA fans probably would want this. Like whoever's the fan of the women's division, of course, they got themselves a treat. But anyways, this is where they say, "Good to see you." They give a huge hug before they start battling out to each other. where Jordan Grace started hitting forearms, and then Naomi was ready for her too, and started hitting forearms right back into each other. This is where Jordan Grace tried to go for a firewoman's carry. This is where she pushes her off of her. This is where Naomi hits a big, but this is where Jordan Grace hits a back elbow, a spinning back elbow right into the face of Jordan Grace. This is where Jordan Grace hits a power pump handle right onto Naomi. This is where she tried to grab her, try to eliminate her, while Bayley was trying to eliminate Natalya into the bottom right corner, or bottom left corner, I mean, my apologies. And this is where Bayley tried to kick off Natalya out of the ring, but Natalya was not budging whatsoever. This is where she trying to get her off of her, get her legs off of the top. This is where Jordan Grace starts stomping on Natalya's face and on her midsection. It was like, "No, I will never let go." And this is where the sixth participant of the women's Rumble match came in the ring, which was I believe Indy Hartwell, which Candice LeRae had her ally in the ring. This is where she started whacking everybody with clotheslines, saying "Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am." And then this is where she got Bayley right into the bottom right corner. This is where she starts stomping on her, trying to eliminate her. This is where Natalya's like, "Get out of my way! This victim is mine." And this is where Indy Hartwell's like, "No, it's mine because I just got here. And I say I get to choose the first." Spot in this ring. And this is where Natalya was like, no, let me get her. And this is where Jordan Grace trying to eliminate Candice LeRae, but she was hanging on dear life into the bottom rope in the right corner. This is where, top corner, but she was so close, but Candice LeRae was not, but she managed to get back in the ring. This is where Natalya was trying to flip over Bayley, but I don't know how Bayley flipped out of this and fell right onto the apron, like to the right corner. Even with Indy Hartwell's help, with them finally thinking they should work together, and that's how they're going to get rid of the former SmackDown and Raw and NXT and Women's Tag Team Champion. Or should I say Grand Slam Women's Champion. But anyway, this is where Natalya got Irish whipped the Indy Hartwell in the bottom left corner. This is where it starts stomping on her. And this is where the seventh participant was none other than fellow Damage Control member, Bayley's teammate, one of her teammates, Asuka. This is where Bayley's like, "What the hell? Like, what's she doing here?" And this is where she hit a double drop kick onto Natalya and Indy Hartwell as soon as she got into the ring, when she was up on the upper left corner of the top turnbuckle. This is where Bayley was like, "I thought this was all for me." And then this is where Asuka was like, "Yes, it is all about you. I'm just here to help." And then this is where they double Irish whip Natalya right into the left corner side rope. They hit a double clothesline. And then I was thinking, like, what do you expect, Bayley? Like, it's a women's Royal Rumble match. Like, they're going to pick anybody that's going to be in the Rumble, even if they want to or not. Like, they need to fill in the spots. Like, if they don't have nobody else to put as the 30 women part in this 30 woman participant match. But anyway, this is where, Asuka and Bayley were double teaming, like with the likes of Indy Hartwell against and Natalya, trying to go for a double suplex onto Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell started fighting back, started hit a big left hand right onto the face of Bayley, then try to Irish whip and eliminate what's her name, Natalya, but. Not Natalya, Asuka. My apologies, my SNA fans. But anyway, this is where she's trying to kick her right off. This is where she's trying to go for a hip attack, but Indy Hartwell was trying to grab her, trying to pull her out of the ring. But this is where Bayley was trying to help Asuka out so she won't be eliminated. So she's keeping her at match so her chances of her winning the Rumble are more likely guaranteed. But Indy Hartwell still was fighting back. This is where she pushed Bayley right off, trying to grab Asuka out of the ring. She has a big boot on the outside. This is where she was still hanging off the ropes on the outside, right onto the corner left of the hardest part of the ring, the ring apron. This is where Bayley hits a baseball sliding kick right onto the side of Indy Hartwell. This is where Indy Hartwell's like, "What the hell? Like, I was so close of getting eliminated." Bayley's like, "Good riddance, BITCH." Well, I'm not sure if she even said that, but this is where she looked like she said to the former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. This is where the eighth participant, Ivy Nile, was entering after when it was counted down to 0. This is where she This is where she hits a huge super kick right into Asuka. This is where she grab onto the Naomi and try to go for that spinning slam. That spinning back sidewalk slam, but she botched it at first, but she managed to redo it and do it again. This is where Ivy now tried to go for a running bulldog, but this is where Natalya counters out of it from the bottom corner ropes. Springboard running, but this is where what's her name? Ivy now hits a right and brings her right to the upper left corner to try to eliminate her. This is where Jordynne Grace tried to eliminate Candice LeRae, but she countered and flips out of it. This is where Asuka and Bayley of Damage Control tried to eliminate Naomi, but Naomi was not budging. She started hitting swift kicks to both women. This is where Ivy now was continuing trying to eliminate Natalya out of the match, but Natalya was not doing nothing like in the match. And oh, by the way, I also want to bring another spoiler, like that. Unfortunately, neither Mickie James or AJ Lee was at tonight's Royal Rumble, but I still think the former Divas champion AJ Lee could make her return. It just won't be tonight. Maybe anytime in of this year, like around summertime, like anytime after WrestleMania, perhaps she will make her return. But anyway, let's continue the Royal Rumble bout. This is where Natalya was trying to counter and try to eliminate Ivy Nile out of the match. This is where we figure out who's the ninth participant is, which it was none other than Katana Chance, like the former one half of the women's tag team champion, because the last night she lost her title to the Kabuki Warriors. And it looked like she was trying to get some kind of revenge onto that particular Kabuki Warrior. But Jordynne Grace came in, and this is where she started beating Katana Chance up. This is where she asked Naomi's help to do a double suplex right onto the former NXT and main roster women's tag team champions. But Naomi said, "I'm going to do Asuka," while Ivy now got Candice LeRae, which they did their suplexes respectively, except for Naomi, because she was too distracted with Bayley as well, along with Asuka. This is where Natalya tried to help Naomi out and try to eliminate Asuka, while Bayley's too busy with Naomi by putting her boot right in her face in the upper right. This is where Natalya put Asuka right to the upper left, trying to eliminate her out of the ring. This is where then Bayley went right up to Jordynne Grace, like, take this and this and this. And then it's like, nothing personal, but I got to win. The face Rhea Ripley. I was like, don't you mean Io Sky? Like, well, but that's only my fantasy booking, of course. But this is where she was like, huh? And this is where Bianca Belair came out when the timer went out. She ran straight in the ring. This is where Bayley tried to go for a clothesline, but Bianca Belair beat her to it by flying at her and hit a big right hand to the face. Then Asuka. And then she was keep doing it like 2 times in a row. Like first it was Asuka, and then and then the Asuka, then Bayley. They're going back. We were going back and forth. Like if there was no tonight, like whatsoever, even though there is a night tonight. But anyways, this is where Bayley did grab onto Bianca, but this is where Bianca counters hit the right hand, but she kicks her right in the gut eventually. This is where both Asuka and Bayley did a double Irish whip right to the right corner side. This is where Bianca hits a double swinging neck breaker right onto both Asuka and Bayley into a blockbuster neck breaker like her husband Montez Ford would do, like when Enzo Dawkins had their opponents into his head in an electric chair position. But anyways, this is where we have Bianca Belair going right up to Natalya and start hitting big right hands right into the upper left corner. This is where LeRae tried to grab on the leg on Bianca. This is where she's like, oh, she pushed her right off her. She's like, oh, come here. This is where she had the big backflip and she landed right on Natalya. And this is where she had the double spear right onto Natalya and Bianca Belair and what's her name, Natalya. This is where she started hitting right hands on both women that was stacked stacked onto each other. This is where Bayley tried to run up to her. This is where she hits a backflip dodge right off the middle ropes in the upper right. This is where she hits with that underhook twist arm wrist lock suplex right onto Bayley. This is where she hits a big spine buster right onto Candice LeRae while standing. Candice LeRae. This is where she hits a double chicken wing face buster right onto the Katana Chance. That's who it was, yeah. And this is where Natalya and And also, Natalia and Naomi were on the upper right corner side, like trying to eliminate each other out. Here's where Bianca Belair hit the springboard moonsault onto both Bailey and Candice. Banana, okay. This is where we got Kairi Sane being drawn as number 11 of the Kabuki Wars. Now it's completely with all three women from Damage Control.
He fell into it and they caved in into the closet. He fell into it. I'm about to know. I know. I heard he fell into it. And like, you broke my door. I'm like, no, I didn't. Because that shit came off the hinges. And I'm the one that's been trying to fix it.
What? I know.
And I don't know how to fix this.
Yeah.
Stuff ain't even near the door.
Exactly. It's far in the back. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm really trying to fix this so I don't have to hear about it.
I know.
And I'm really trying to get out of here. I'm really sick of it.
I know.
Like, I'm really, really sick of it.
Anyway, this is where Kairi Sane then went on and started hitting elbow strike right on the Katana Chance, like in a striking forearm position. This is where I'm looking like that they were happy to see. This is where it's like it's all three of us against one of Bianca. This is where they did a three-way Irish whip into the left corner side. This is where Asuka hits a left-legged roundhouse kick. This is where Bailey hits a running bulldog. This is where Kairi Sane hits a big double knees right to the back of Bianca, basically humiliating and annihilating the poor EST. This is where Asuka was like, who's our next victim? Like, this is where she tried to look, but she was like, you know what? I'll just go after Bianca with my teammate and new tag team champion partner, I should say, Kairi Sane. This is where Candice LeRae started doing a sleeper right onto Bailey, but Bailey flipped it right over her, right on their head. This is where Asuka tried to hit the striking clothesline right onto Candice. This is where she flips over right in the upper corner. This is where Kairi Sane tried to go for a strike right onto Candice in the upper left corner of the the turnbuckle. This is where she flips her right over to the left corner side. This is where Candice LeRae trying to eliminate both Asuka and Kairi Sane right onto the. This is where she tried to go for a clothesline to Candice, but she ducks out of the way. This is where Bailey tried to kick her out of the ring. This is where she put her right on the top rope and tried to eliminate her. This is where Damage Control's Bailey, Kairi Sane, and Asuka eliminated her out of the ring. Candice LeRae. This is where Bailey's like, man, that wasn't easy. She's just a little competitor. And this is where we got who was going to be. This is where we have number 12 entering the ring after the timer went up, which was none other than Tegan Nox, which is Natalia's team coach, like the wrestling world's shiniest wizard. And this is where Corey Graves is like, what does the shiniest wizard pertain to? And this is where Michael Cole had to explain to his dumb ass, saying, like, well, the shiniest wizard, like, it's part of her finishing maneuver that she used. I was like, yeah, duh. Like, you should know this, Corey Graves. You call the action. Well, that's actually way better. That's right. They switched back since last year. So, but still, even when she came back, like, you knew her finishing maneuver name. Like, they don't act like you'd never seen her before. But anyway, this is where she came in the ring. This is where Tegan Nox shoves her with a right fist, and this to Bailey. This is where she hits a right hand to Asuka. This is where she started hitting right hands repeatedly to Ivy Nile and a big clothesline. This is where she hits a big European flying uppercut right onto Bailey. This is where she started whacking on Naomi and not Natalia, but Katana Chance, with her hitting a big Uranagi slam right in the middle of the ring. This is where she tried to go for a sliding swipe kick, but this is where she moved out of the way. This is where Tegan Knox hit the sliding senton cannonball right to the face of Bailey, right off the bottom turnbuckles into the upper left corner, where Jordynne Grace hits a flying clothesline right onto Tegan Knox. This is where she hits a. This is where Jordynne Grace goes for a powerbomb right onto Tegan Knox. This is where Natalya started whacking her with right hands to Jordynne Grace, and a big discus clothesline for now also known as the Natty by Nature. This is where Natalya was checking on Tegan Knox, and she was okay, which she was. This is where she tried to eliminate Tegan Knox out of the ring, but this is where it backfired on the Queen of Hearts because Tegan Knox beat her to it. Like, she knew exactly what she was doing. She countered it, and she threw her instead. She was like it was either you or me, when Natalya's like, how could you do this to me? And this is where Katana Chance got a retribution on Tegan Knox and threw her. It was Bailey that threw her out. This is where we got draw number 13 that was entering the ring next, which it was Kaden Carter, Katana Chance's tag partner. She was draw number, and then this is where she started helping her friend out, and this is where she was fighting like the likes of Naomi and Ivy Nile. This is where we also have Chelsea Green at number 14. This is where she nearly got eliminated so quickly, like last year when Rhea Ripley eliminated her trying to Irish whip her out into the bottom corner of the apron. This is where Jordynne Grace, she not throw her, but this is where Bianca did throw Jordynne out, but somehow she flips right back in a back foot position. This is where she kicks her around the gut. This is where she tried to throw Bianca back out in the apron. This is where Bianca hit her with a shoulder bump right into the midsection. This is where she flips her over the apron. This is where Jordynne Grace tried to go for a kick to Bianca Belair, but Bianca Belair grabs onto it. This is where she puts it down, hits a big right hand to the face, trying to get her with a KOD right onto the bottom corner apron, which she did to get her eliminated. And I was like, too bad that there won't be wrestling in a crossover Forbidden Door match. And this is the only closest that we're going to get with a crossover Forbidden Door moment. Forbidden Door moment. But anyway, this is where we had Bianca was like, yeah, they don't call me the EST for nothing. This is where we try to find out who exactly his number 16 was as soon as the timer went up again, which was none other than Piper Niven, Chelsea Green's tag partner. This is where we also got. This is where Piper Niven was beating the poor life out of the former women's tag team champion, the other former women's tag team champions, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. This is where she tried to go. She went for a running senton right onto them, stacked onto each other. This is where Bailey was trying to eliminate Naomi, but this is where Naomi still wasn't budging. This is where she went up, tried to go to Bianca, but they were going at it. They were tiring each other out. This is where Ivy Nile then trying to strike at Piper Niven, but she gets manhandled and snapmared with Chelsea Green like picking up the remaining pieces of Ivy. This is where Bailey tried to charge at Piper Niven, but she slammed her like an angle slam like maneuver, Olympic slam, I should say. This is where Naomi tried to go for a running crossbody, but she gets spin around slam. This is where Chelsea Green did try to eliminate Naomi out of the ring, but this is where Naomi was not gonna give her spot up, like from easily getting eliminated and trying to earn herself an opportunity to face either Io Sky or Rhea Ripley. But this is where Piper Niven started hitting splashes right onto Bailey. Then it was this, and then this is where Chelsea Green tried to help Piper Niven while holding on to Naomi, try to splash on her, but Naomi dodged out of the way. And this is where Piper Niven accidentally hits her own partner, Chelsea Green, in the process. This is where she was like, "Oh my God, like no, like not Chelsea, like no, I'm so sorry, like you know I would never do this." This is where Kaden Carter started hitting single axe handles right on the back of Piper Niven. This is where they started stomping on her right into the bottom left corner, along with Ivy Nile. This is where it starts off. This is where Bianca Belair's like, all right, ladies, like get her up and try to throw her all over the top rope. So we don't have to worry about her because this was the second biggest woman that was in this women's 30 battle over the top rope battle royal match. This is where we got number 16, which was none other than Xia Li, of course. Like they're gonna have like their lower mid cards gonna be participating in the Rumble, and I believe we got like NXT interested, like an entrance or two. This is where we got number 17, Zelina Vega, like entering with these video game or some from anime or a very game or some kind of game that's very similar to anime, of course. But this is where she runs into the ring. This is where what's her name? This is where Katana Chance tried to eliminate her early, but this is where Zelina Vega started hitting big right hands, hit a big right hand singular right into Katana Chance's midsection. This is where Katie Carter did not like this. She was like, "Hey, don't do this to my friend." This is where she tried to hit her face for right to the turnbuckle, but this is where she threw her right into the turnbuckle instead, backfiring Katie Carter's plans of hitting her in the face. This is where she hit the top rope meteor to the lower left corner. This is where Katana Chance tried to go up right towards her. This is where she trips her over right on her knees and hits a knee strike right to the face of Katana Chance. This is where she tried to go for this is where she goes for a wheelbarrow toss to Naomi, sending her to Bianca Belair, making her spear her in the process. This is where Zelina Vega's like, "This is my chance of main event WrestleMania." And I was like, all right, first of all, I don't think you're gonna win because you got Piper Niven and you got other superstars trying to enter the Royal Rumble. Like, and this is where, and second of all, like, I don't think you're gonna be like, you're not gonna be winning because you're gonna be the first target of being eliminated. And third of all, like, it's not guaranteed that might for women to properly officially main event the Showcase of the Immortals. But anyways. This is where Piper Niven nearly eliminated her out of it, but I'll be right back. Yeah. Zelina Vega did run right towards the right corner side when where Zelina Vega started hitting to the beast from the female beast of Scotland, I believe. That's what I would call her. This is where she Irish whipped right to the bottom left corner. This is where she tried to go for a sliding dodge. This is where she tried to go for a power. This is where Piper Niven tried to catch her, trying to go for a power. But this is where Zelina Vega gets the sliding surfboard DDT and a double interception. This is where we had. This is where we got number 17 now, which was Nia Jax, the irresistible force. This is where she grabbed on the Ivy Nile. She just easily eliminated Xia Li and her by hitting Ivy Nile face first right to the bottom left corner of the ring post onto the apron. This is where then Nia Jax is like, thank you. Oh, thank you. And this is where Chelsea Green tried to go attacking Nia Jax, but that was not a smart idea. This is where she tried to Samoa drop her, but this is where the same mistake happened again. At this time, Nia Jax was involved. This is where Piper Niven tried to go for a splash on the Jax, but she moved out of the way, and Chelsea Green was right behind her. And this is where Piper Niven accidentally hit Chelsea Green. Something tells me we will see a breakup. Whoever's the heel and the face into this in this future feud. I'm not sure about that. Like, I know it's going to be a guaranteed breakup and split up. I was like, and these teams are very successful as a tag team, and I thought we would see them be a team a little bit more longer. But oh well, at least it was. This is where Nia Jackson clobbered both of them with a double splash right onto both Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. This is where Piper Niven tried to counter, tried to kick her in the midsection. Just what she tried to go for a suplex onto the irresistible force. But I think her back gave out. This is where she just said, like, oh, flub it. This is where she rammed her right to the bottom left corner. This is where she started spearing her. And what she didn't know, that Chelsea Green was right behind her. When she was hitting those spears right onto her, like with her right behind Nia Jax. And this is where she was like, Chelsea, wake up, like you stay with me, like we're almost there, like we just need to stick together and be successful and try to win this Rumble. I was like, Piper, do you realize we only need one winner, not co-winners? This is not 1994 when both Bret Hart and Lex Luger came into the Royal Rumble. Uncle SNA loves you too. But this is where Piper Niven tried to do a double shoulder tackle to Nia Jax with her and Chelsea Green. This is where Nia Jax ran into both of them like if they were a runaway. I see it.
You got Ari.
I know, but I'll worry about that later, Birdie Bird. But anyways, this is where Nia Jax was like a runaway 18-wheeler right onto both Piper and Chelsea. This is where Chelsea was like that wasn't supposed to happen. Like I thought we we're gonna bring her down. Like I was like, you realize she's not really up and running like she was earlier. And that's thanks to you and Nia Jax and Piper. Okay, I'm coming.
1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay. He said it. Go. I said 1 minute.
1 minute.
No, I'm not done yet. You just interrupted me. I'm the He's very yeah. But that's why I wasn't going to do about not because right. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. Let's continue. This is where we got Piper Niven did try to go fight the irresistible force. This is where she did a half barely body slam right onto her own tag partner Chelsea. This is where Naomi's like, hey there, Cuzzo Lazo. Like this is where she springboard and hit a step up insecurity right into the face. This is where Naomi was squatting down like in her feet with her legs like into this like split, like nearly a split position. It wasn't like exactly a split, but it was like she was doing the squats like while having her number 20 Shotzi. Like she finally got her green hair back. Like even though it's more neon and light and lime than it was the previous time this time last year. But yeah, it's great to have her hair back and her back. I heard she got married. I want to say huge congratulations for her and her husband of being a very lovely and happy couple, of course. But anyway, this is where she was riding down onto her. Shotzi was riding down on her tank and jumped right off the tank and went right off the top rope and hit the big bossy what's that senton right on the Nia Jax. This is where Shotzi was like, all right, and this is where And then this is where Maxine Dupree started doing the caterpillar, but this time was doing the reverse version of doing the caterpillar backwards. And this is where and this is where she hits the big elbow after Shotzi lined her up right into the bottom left corner. This is where Maxine Dupree picks her up. This is where she tried to eliminate the irresistible force. This is where every single woman that was in the match, like Maxine Dupree, Bianca Belair, Kaden Carter, Piper Niven, Katana Chance, Shotzi, Bayley, everybody tried to eliminate Nia Jax, but I think it was a dud because Nia Jax picks up everybody and tosses everybody right into every corner, splatting everywhere like a erupted water balloon, or like a water balloon erupting grape juice or fruit punch everywhere in the walls, like in a house, like if it's like in a birthday party, like splatting everywhere. This is where Nia Jax was like no one can stop the force, and this is where she was like, I am gonna be the women's world champion, and I'm gonna do that by winning this Rumble. And then this is where fans were booing, like, boo, we do not want to see this. This is where then Bayley eliminated Maxine Dupree just to get her out of the ring. This is where Bayley's like, think next time. And this is where Nia Jax then body slammed Piper Niven, threw her onto the apron, onto the left corner side, and eliminated her along with Chelsea Green. This is where Piper was like, yeah, like I told you, I got rid of the second biggest woman out. Like now it's only me, the number one biggest woman in the event. I was like, well, like technically size don't matter. It's all about the dedication and the motivation and the talent that really does matter. But this is where she tossed Katana along with Xia Li, Piper Niven, and Chelsea Green. This is where we got, I believe, number 21. Yeah, that's right. And then this is where Nia Jax, I want to see who exactly this woman is, which I figured it was somebody that she's in a rivalry with, which is none other than the man herself, the one I thought that was going to win tonight's Royal Rumble bout, and that woman is Becky Lynch. And this is where she started heading out in the ring. This is where she started brawling it out with the irresistible force. This is where she tried to throw Nia out, but Nia threw her out onto the right corner side into the apron. This is where she tried to spear her out of there, but this is where she moved out of the way right on time in a smart manner. This is where she hit the side-swiping swift kick right into the shoulder and chest of Nia Jax. This is where she went right. Becky Lynch went right onto the upper right corner of the top rope, hits a middle missile drop kick right onto Nia Jax. This is where Becky Lynch is like that, and this is gonna lead me to over here, the showcase of the Immortals. This is where Zelina Vega tried to sneak on her and do a sneak attack, but this is where Becky Lynch counters her into a hammerlock reverse DDT, I think taking a shot at her former client, and while hitting a regular DDT right onto Shotzi when she was heading her way, hit a double DDT on both women. And this is where Bayley tried to attack Becky Lynch, but this is where she gets hit with the Beck Exploder suplex. This is where Becky Lynch was like, "Oh, like you want now you want to test the man now, huh?" And this is where she hits a big forearm right to her face into the lower right corner. This is where then Chelsea Green came back, and I was like, I guess she must have slipped out before. Must have slipped out like into either the middle ropes or even or the bottom ropes or underneath the ropes, like before she can make it look like she is eliminated, but really she's still in the match. Well, at least for now. And this is where she gets counted. This is where Becky Lynch hits a splash right onto the Chelsea Green stacked on Bayley. This is where Nia Jax tried to attack her arch rival Becky, but she moved right out of the way and she hits a big splash onto Bayley, right face first right into there. This is where Becky Lynch hit a springboard kick on super kick to both Bayley hanging onto the bottom right apron. Not apron, the corner turnbuckle, and onto Nia Jax. This is where Chelsea Green tried to eliminate Becky into the right corner side, but she threw her out instead. But Chelsea Green still was hanging on to the apron. This is where she's like, please don't let go of me. No. I'll do anything for you to not eliminate me. And this is where Becky was like, oh, like are you fine, honey? Like I just want you out of here because I need to win. This is where she pushed her off. This is where Chelsea Green screamed like, I'm gonna call I'm gonna call Nick Aldis on you, Becky. Like I was like, but ain't he SmackDown GM? But